Hello and welcome to the channel. Now in today's video we are going to be going through this. So this is the Conqueco Portable Nespresso machine. I have already done like an unboxing and a first use of it, and I've actually been using this now for a few weeks, and I want to talk a bit more depth about it because there's a lot to like about this, but there's a couple of things that are really annoying about it, which I'll go through in the video. So I've got this, and I also have the case that I bought separately as well, and we'll probably start off with this to go through this as an added expense. It doesn't come with it, you have to buy it extra, but we're gonna go through this, what I do like and what I don't like. And if you can subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Nearly hit 100 subscribers, that'd be fantastic. Thank you very much for the support. Let's crack on with the review. Okay, before we go into looking at the machine in a bit more depth, just going to quickly spin over this case. Okay, so I think if you're going to be out and about, a case is well worth it. And seeing as this one is specifically made for it, I can't see why you wouldn't get this one. As I said, it's £40 for this, but look at Amazon, prices do go up and down. Really nice, well protective case. It keeps everything nice and secure and nothing really rattles around. I really like the dark and the red. What I don't really like is their massive logo, which is a bit naff on the front, each to their own. But I just think that looks a bit naff. However, the handle is superb. It's really big, nice and chunky, and it's almost locked there. And then you pull it up and it kind of unlocks, and then you've got yourself a carry handle there. I think that handle is absolutely brilliant. And then you just push it back in once you need it. Okay, and then unzip it. Again, they've stuck their logo on the zips, and when you open it up, at the top, you have a nice flap. So you can put your cables or whatever you need to be putting in there. And that's where the machine goes, in there like so. And then here you have this kind of foam piece that comes out, and that holds 5 Nespresso pods, only the small Nespresso ones. And then I've looked, if you go in here, you can actually put 6 more in there, like that. So I'm not sure why there's a gap there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. So you have 6, 5, 11, and then you could potentially have one actually in the machine, taking up 12 Nespresso with you at any one time. So like I was saying, if you want a case, you might as well go for this one because it's official and it fits it superbly. But you know, 40 quid, stick it on your wish list, it'll go up and down, I'm sure. Okay, onto the machine itself now. Now in the box, you're going to get your machine, you're going to get this, which is a pouch, and I think that is brilliant. If you didn't want to get the case, this is good enough to stop it getting scratched, but it's not going to be able to protect it from any drops or anything like that the case will. But I think that's a really nice inclusion, is to put something like that on. And again, their massive, great big logo on the front. Yeah, okay, get that. And then you get your cable here, which I've got attached to my power bank, so we're going to plug it in a minute. And that's about 1 meter long, so that's nice and good. Seems like good quality cable. And to charge it, what you're going to do is you're going to poke it in the back of that USB there, and then you'll see that it starts lighting up. Now here's one quirk I'm just interested in. So this is your battery level, so 0 to 100%, but it's only 3 levels. So instead of it in 4 levels, 25, 50, 75, it's 33.333 recurring, 66.666 recurring, and then 100% it'll be full. So at the moment I'm between 33.333 and 66.666. Okay, so it's interesting they split up 100 in between the 3. So this kind of like control panel here, these are all rubbery buttons, okay? So the top one is for your power indicator, see how much power you've got, and to set a shot off. And then here is the cold brew. I've never actually used this button. I've never done a cold brew, so I only use this button up here, and it's like a rubbery feel. If I just pop that out, you can check your battery status by pressing this. So if I just press this like this, nothing happens, right? You have to press it quite hard for it to get in. Okay, so let's go to, if you click it, you can hear it clicking, nothing happens. You have to really click it in, almost for like, almost half a second for it to be checked. Just a little bit of an annoyance there. And also, I've got it plugged in. When you've plugged it in for at least, I'd probably say about 5 or 10 minutes, this gets really hot, this USB. Worryingly hot, if I'm honest, but it's been okay so far, but it just does get hot. Now, let's talk about the machine itself. So in the water on the top there, like so, there is a water level mark that says max and 40 mils. It doesn't say how much max is, but max has measured it, it's 80 mils. So you can, between 80 and 40 mils, you can go. This all feels metallic, it feels lovely. It just feels so premium in the hands, I love it. So it's all serrated here for you to hold it. and then it's much smoother here. And then down here is your plastic where the kind of like the business end is. You have this cup, which I'm going to talk about, a genius feature in a second. And then this piece. So this piece clips off. This is for your Nespresso. You unscrew it, you pop an espresso pod in, like so. Clip it in, and then tighten it up. Now, here's another thing that I didn't really get on well with this, is I have tightened it up as hard as I can go a lot of the times, and I'd say probably around 1 in 7 or 8 fail. They don't actually split. It doesn't actually split the top here. I don't know why. I tighten it up as much as I can every single time. Just every so often it fails. It just like muddy water comes out and not an espresso, which is a real pain, because I really don't like that, because it's a waste of a coffee, especially when I talk to you about the stats on it. So you clip it on there like that, and then this. And now this is brilliant. This is absolutely fantastic. So you see these grooves here, and these grooves here. There's a long one and a short one. If you line up those long grooves to the long groove, it goes on. So that's when you're storing it. If you go out and just move it to that little groove like that, it stands up. So when you're making a coffee, you can just put it up, leave it, and you know you've got enough room for the espresso in there and then the steam to come out of there. I think that's a genius feature. I've not actually seen anywhere on the marketing that show off that, but that for me is absolutely brilliant. Okay, now with the actual espresso itself, there's going to be 2 things that affect your battery life. So to charge it up fully, it's going to take around 2 hours, I'd say, to fully charge up, depending on your power source. And there's 2 things. It's either the temperature of water and how much you put in will depend on how long the battery will last and how many shots you're going to get. So if you put boiling water in, you're going to get loads and loads of shots out of it. But if you only put cold water in, or room temperature water, you're only going to get around 3 or 4 shots out of this. I know it's not practical to be able to take out boiling water with you everywhere you go. So I think the tests on this should be how long it takes for kind of like cold water to do. So you're going to get about 4 shots out of this, and then you're going to need to fully charge it again. Which is okay, it's not the fault of this machine. Every single machine I've tested is around the same because of the battery limitations. And what we're going to do in this test is I'm going to fill it up to 80 mils of room temperature water, and then I'm going to time how long it takes for it to come out of there, and then we're going to see how much is actually extracted of that 80 mils. Okay, so I've already got an espresso in there, as we put in earlier. I have 80 mils worth of water straight from the tap. If I pour that in, that should go up to the max line, which it is. Pop that on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set off the timer to start as soon as I press it. So the way to turn it on, as I said before, is you just hold this down for 2 seconds and then it'll start beeping. Okay, but I am going to plug it in just in case, because I know I'm down to 33%. So just in case, I'm going to have it on there. Then once it's started to extract, I'm going to extract it into here, and we'll see how much of the 80 mils of water we get out of there. So cold water, 80 mils. Let's go. So it's finished, and there we go, looking at the times there, it was 4 minutes 58 to heat up 80 mils of water, and then the extraction was 41 seconds. So 5 minutes and then 40 seconds for the extraction. And a quick comparison, I'm going to put 80 mils of boiling water. So that is boiling straight out of the kettle. Start that. Done. There we go, 16 seconds. That is from boiling water straight out of the kettle though, so hardly any time at all if you're going to get that. So I'd say, and if it was hot water, you're going to be looking at around a minute or so. Then if we look at the amount we got out of 80 mils, so just under 70, so it looks about like 10 or 11 millilitres lost into the machine somewhere. So as you can see, this has poured out a really nice shot. I'm really impressed with how the shots come out of this. Nice and hot, has a decent level of what is supposedly a crema out of an espresso pod. Nice, dark, rich coffee. I know it depends on what pod you put in, but these ones are okay. These are ones I got free with the machine, and they're decent enough ones. So the coffee taste should be good. Right, so I thought I'd take the Conqueco out. I thought I was going to go for a nice walk along the river, but it's absolutely peeing down, so I decided against that. But it does give me the opportunity to do two things whilst in the car. So the first thing is to test if it fits in a cup holder. So it does, but once it's in, you lift it out. If it's only sort of got any sort of resistance to it, you're going to pull it out without that piece. So you've got to kind of dive in and pull that bit out separately. So it does fit in, but if it's a bit tight, you're going to get that. And secondly, I can test whether it charges on my car USB. So plug that in there and plug that in there, and we'll see if the lights come on. So in the USB. Plugged in. There we go. So it is charging. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it does charge just using a standard USB in a car. And as I did with the last one I did where I took out to the beach, I've actually brought some hot water just to save time. So I've got some pretty hot water. I'm going to put that into here, into the top bit which we talked about. And then we're going to use one of these Nespresso pods that I've got. One of these ones I got with my dual machine. And then we'll pop it in there. So quite handily, turn it upside down, it goes into the cup holder, so I can do this one-handed. There we go, pop that in there. Screw that on nice and tight so it pierces the film. And I'm going to put this back in the cup holder, but without this cup, because then I can just take it in and out. And in there we have some hot water. About there. That'll do it. Lid back on. Onto the stand. And then let's kick it off. There we go. Put that somewhere where it's not going to just drip on the floor in there. Okay, so here we go then. Look at that. There's your Nespresso with the crema of sorts on the top. Nice and hot on a nice rainy day. Let's get the steam up on the windows, you see. There we go. A nice rainy day by the coast on the river. Now, as we said before, we know that it's all about what pods you put in, but let's give it a go anyway. Yeah, that tastes very, very similar to what comes out of like my home machine. That's cracking. So I'm going to sit here in the rain, having a cup of coffee, and then if it clears up, I might go for a walk down by the river. All right, back to the kitchen. Okay then, so to summarise what I do and I don't like about this, what I do like is the fact that it comes with this pouch here to carry it. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Comes with a cable, comes with everything you need. I also really like the build quality. I think this feels like a premium product. The metallicness, the kind of material that it's made from, the rubber buttons here, I just think it all fits together well. And I really like the way that it's put together. And also this, the fact that you can have it stood up or in storage, I think is a really brilliant feature. I absolutely love that when making a coffee. It does make good coffees, as you can see here. So this has been sat here now for quite a few minutes and it's still got a bit of a head on the top of it. I think it makes excellent coffees. Obviously, it's depending on what coffee you put into it, but it's good. The price is really good as well. So you can get this under 100 quid, I reckon. I paid about 110 from Amazon. As I said, prices go up and down. So just stick it on your wish list. I reckon you can get this under 100 quid. The same with the case. The case is great. It just looks a bit, I don't know. But I think if you're going to carry it out, you're going to want to get this. And I'm pleased I did get the case. A couple of things that I don't really like is when it's pouring a shot, it doesn't tell you how long it's got left. Okay, would have been nice if these LEDs lit up sequentially to tell you how long it's got left. So it's like not halfway and you think, oh, nearly there. doesn't tell you that. You've just literally got to wait. That's a bit of an annoying feature. And the fact that probably 1 in 7, 1 in 8 of my Nespressos didn't work. I thought it might have been I wasn't pulling in tight enough, but when I pulled it out, there was no way it was getting any tighter. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is there, but that's a bit of a pain. That's a bit of a wasted coffee. Okay, that was it then. That was my look at this, the Conqueco Portable Nespresso machine. What are your thoughts on it? The two negatives that I have are the Nespresso pods and the LED. Is that going to be enough to put you off? I don't know. I have done another review of the out-in, and I am going to compare the two. So I'm going to put them through their paces and do a comparison and pick which one I'm going to keep out of the out-in or the Conqueco. Right, so this has been a good few minutes, and look at it. It's doing all right, that. Yeah, it's not as hot, but that's fine. Just as good out of something out of my my machine. That one there, that machine there, my Espresso machine tastes just as good out of that one. So let me know your thoughts. Are you going to get a Conqueco? Are you going to be on travel with an Espresso machine? I think these are fantastic, especially for camping or walkers or anything like that. Just be careful of the temperature of the water and how many you're going to get out of it. Simple as that, really. Okay, please like. We're going to try and get to 100 subscribers. Do subscribe. Do put your comments down below. And to the next video. Bye-bye.